Hi everyone, this is Suzanne. I just wanted to do an update. I'm now done with my second week of PT school. Um, and I just wanted to go over some things about how I'm doing and what I'm working on. So we have our schedule that I kind of talked about in my last video. And now I'm gonna talk a little bit about how I study and reviewing clinical, that kind of stuff. I have an average of 14-hour days, with an average of about 6 hours of class. Sometimes that can be more or less, so 6 to 8 hours of class, Monday through Friday. So this week, I have started figuring out how to prioritize my time. I still feel really overwhelmed. We had a lot of stuff coming at us this weekend, or this past weekend, and then it rolled into this week, and then this week we got more stuff to do. So it's difficult, I think, for me when I don't know at the beginning of the week what I have to get done. And also, it's really frustrating if I have a list of things to do and I can't get them all done, which I think a lot of people can relate to. It's all of like, I want control in my life, but I don't have it kind of thing. Um, and I think I have decided that on the weekend I am absolutely going to schedule in time to review because I feel like I'm just getting thrown a bunch of material. I'm looking at it once and I'm never looking at it again. So I think I'm going to spend, a couple hours on, let's see, like some sort of reviewing from the week before and then doing the stuff that I need to do for the next week. The next thing is kind of along with reviewing is clinical has been a little bit difficult for me because I haven't been able to review the skills that I've been learning. So we had a clinical we call it a checklist thing today. It was our first one. I know, I should just give myself a break, but I didn't do very well on it. And it was in part because I wasn't able to really practice at all. So I went to my professor and asked her, like, what to do because she has students like this all the time who get really overwhelmed and don't know what to do. Skills checklist was worth like 5 points. So, like, even though I didn't do well on it, it was not that big of a deal. It's not like a big part of my grade. So she had the great idea of just like for all these different clinical skills, putting them into a bowl and then just pulling them out and reviewing them every day. And then a lot of the stuff, luckily for this past quiz that we had, as well as the skills checklist, which I both didn't do well on, I just overthought everything. It wasn't that I didn't know it, it was because I forgot to do it or I didn't like think about it enough. So practice, 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 and studying and reviewing. So it all goes back to reviewing, which I haven't done a lot of because I've been doing stuff to be prepared for the next week. So that is kind of those three topics. And then Cadaver Lab has been so amazing. I'm so grateful to be able to work with cadavers. It really is just, not many people get to say that they've worked with them. I worked with them a little bit in undergrad, but we weren't dissecting at all. It was all prosected for us. So it's a really cool experience to know exactly what's in our body. I've told a lot of people I've done dissections of a lot of animals because I was animal science in undergrad. But I never did a human, and I'm a human, and I'm dissecting a human, which is kind of weird to think about. But it is such an amazing gift that I'm able to do that. So this entire week, I felt so tired. Like, so tired all the time. I get an average of 7.5 hours of sleep, which for some people is enough. For me, it's not. I need like 9. So I need to be prioritizing my time a little better. I still need to change my study habits from undergrad. I don't read, I don't watch a ton of TV at all or goof off. I am a big browser. on social media, especially Facebook. So I think what I'm going to be doing, so I'm not checking it on my 5-minute breaks. I've been using the Pomodoro study method, which is really cool actually. It's where you do 25 minutes of intensive studying and then you take a 5-minute break. So it kind of paces you. I'm definitely one of those people who does, like if there's 8 hours, I will do like 8 hours of studying, like the entire time. I'll just sit in my chair. I'll get up to go to the bathroom or something, but that's it. I won't do anything. So it helps me to kind of pace myself, because studying for 8 hours, one, isn't efficient, and two, it's not healthy. So I've been trying to figure out different ways for studying. And it's only week 2 out of 16, so, and I haven't had a huge test yet, so we have our first, I think it's anatomy lab, I think it's in 2 weeks, so I have about, well, a little less than 2 weeks now. Is that right? No, 3 weeks, my bad, 3.5 weeks. So I have to make sure that I'm keeping up on stuff. It's really frustrating because in anatomy lab, we were dissecting, but we didn't get through all the stuff we needed to, so we have to go back on the weekend and do it, but we didn't do that for the week before, so now we're completely behind, so it's really stressful for me to be behind. So hopefully this weekend I'll get caught up and I won't have to worry about being behind anymore. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. It's hard, it's stressful, it's a lot of material. But I'm trying to just stay positive and do the best that I can. I know that I just have to keep working on how I'm studying. I think once I do that and I make sure that I set aside time for myself, it'll go a lot better. Actually, on my way to clinical lab on Wednesday, I biked to class. I totally could have had a roommate come back and pick me up, but I decided to bike. It was the best feeling ever. And it didn't even take that long. It took like 5 minutes. I had 5 minutes where I biked to school up this tiny little hill, and it was really pathetic because I was really out of breath. But at least I exercised. I was out in the outside world, the real world, which I'm not out in most of the time. So it's a really hard adjustment for me, especially now. I haven't ridden for 2.5 weeks now, which is a long time for me, and it probably will be a while until I get to ride again. I just try and like keep my head high and like know that there's a light at the end of the tunnel. See, light. But that's where I'm at for this week. So keep watching, and I will update you guys as I go along on my journey. Bye!